cliff dwellings, is where we're at, which is where we're going. We're still an hour away from them, but they're back there in the mountains. I'm not saying that they are the mountains, but they're back there. And I know I cannot say that. So we didn't do a daily vlog yesterday because, one, I did not want to record me and my family having fun at the miniature golf course because I think that would have ruined it of me filming it, taking away the fun. And of course I could not film the whitewater rafting, and man, that water was freezing cold. It was below 50, I think. It was so freezing cold. And my mom did not even get wet on it. The tour guide person said that he's never seen somebody not get wet. My mom only got her legs wet and that was it. He said he's never seen anybody that's not got wet. But I'll see you guys in an hour, or unless I see something along the way, like an elk. So see you then. There's the cliff a little bit better. Because, yeah, there we go. It's getting a little bit better. But we still have a long drive ahead of us, so see you then. Look at how high we are up now. We were like 9,000 feet. I think we're like anywhere from 10,000 to 11,000 feet now. We're so high up, and there's even a trail that goes higher. Let's see that view, if it is a better view. It definitely gets hard to breathe up here. Like I'm breathing hard just right now, and it's not from the jog. But there's a forest fire here. And yes, there was a forest here. That's why there's so many dead trees and stuff. Dang. That view. The trail even goes up higher. And the weird thing is, from the very bottom all the way down there, it only takes 20 miles to get to the cliff dwellings. And we've only gone like 10. It's crazy. Wow. How much would you need to fall down there? Jesus. Okay, you guys see through it? I'll try to get you guys to see through it. No, I don't think it's working. Okay, I'll just walk around. Because there's like a dirt trail now. A dirt trail that heads out even farther. And I am watching for rattlesnakes and stuff. So don't worry about me unless I fall down the hill. Wow. Holy cow. I'm still following the dirt path. just heads out for a while. Just stop here and film all that. This view is crazy. And I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me because the wind is super loud and it's super windy. So I'll see you guys when we get closer to the cliff dwellings or whenever I see something cool. And sorry about the wind right now. So see you then. Okay, we finally made it to the cliff dwellings, but the tour starts at 200 feet that way. And you can already see a little bit. Well, I can at least. You're right there. Trees in the way. You're right there. It's kind of blurry. But that's part of it, I think. Or is that it? I think it might go farther back, actually. But that's all I see from here. Oh, that's cool. I'll see. We got here 30 minutes before the tour actually starts, so we have a lot of time. So I guess I'll see you guys then when the tours is about to start. Alright, well, never mind, guys. I walked down the stairs, came over here, and there's the Cliff Palace right there. That's the Cliff Palace. Not that thing over there. This. Wow. Alright, so now I'll see you guys later when the tour starts. Jeez. Alright, so we're finally on the trail walking to Cliff Palace, the cliff dwellings. The lady's up there collecting everybody's tickets. So I wanted it first in line so I could actually show you guys without anybody talking. I'll see you guys when we get to Cliff Palace. We made it.
Right here.
Is the largest alcove site here at Mesa Verde National Park. It was constructed primarily during the 1200s, so again, it is about 800 years old. And what you see today are about 150 rooms that are above ground here at Cliff Palace. There are 21 of those kivas, those round underground rooms, and we'll see several of those in a few minutes. What I love about Cliff Palace, though, I think it demonstrates how well these ancient farmers used space, right? So notice, they built here on the north end of this naturally occurring alcove. They built all the way through the alcove, all the way down to the far south end. And then right in the center, from front to back, this alcove is 90 feet deep, about 30 meters deep. They built all the way to the back. Did you notice that they took advantage of the shallow upper ledge? And there are several rooms up there, and I think those are probably storage rooms for the most part up there. And then something to remember about this time period, again the 1200s, is that these ancient farmers were incredibly gifted stone masons. So most of their rooms were 1 and 2 stories high, certainly. However, at Cliff Palace they built 3 stories high, and right here on the north end this 3-story structure touches the alcove ceiling. Then on the far south end, that's a 4-story room block. And then they built these beautiful round towers as well, which you can see in the center of Cliff Palace. So they built out, they built up, they used their space very, very well. And Cliff Palace represents one of about 600 alcove sites within the park boundaries. So they're everywhere. Now, when you guys were on the observation deck and you looked at the opposite canyon wall, did you see the 2 smaller sites?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
One is very obvious, one not as obvious, but the one that you saw, that is very common. 90% of these alcove sites have 10 rooms or less. So most of them look like the very small one that you saw. And then of course Cliff Palace is really the most unique alcove site that we have in the park because of its size. But I mean, it's such an amazing thing that they let us come down here and see it. What do you guys think? You want to live at Cliff Palace?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some say yes. Usually they're the little ones.
Maybe a few days.
They fit in the doors easier.
They fit in the doors much easier, don't they? It's a pretty cool place. I think the people of Cliff Palace chose a really good spot to build their home. Very briefly though, let me tell you how they made it work out here. Because when you drive into the park, I think the first thing that a lot of people recognize is that it's a very arid environment, steep terrain, does not look like the best place to farm, but in fact they were super farmers. And again, they farmed on the mesa tops, and we think they farmed up there because we have great soil, believe it or not, that holds moisture well. Our higher elevations mean that we receive more precipitation throughout the year, more snow and more rain than the valleys that surround us. And the mesa tops are actually not flat. They all tilt to the south just a few degrees, which means that we enjoy more sunshine and a slightly longer growing season. So these are reasons that archaeologists think that some of the Pueblo people settled at Mesa Verde, made their homes at Mesa Verde. What are they growing up on their mesa tops? Do you know? Corn. Corn is the big one?
Wheat.
Not wheat. Not yet. What else do you guys know?
Squash.
Squash? One more big one.
Cucumber.
Not quite cucumber. Beans. Beans, right? So they grew corn and squash and beans, and we do find wild potatoes out here. We don't think they grew them per se, but potatoes don't belong here naturally, do they? They come from way far south. So we think the potatoes may have been a traded item, so that's a really good point that you bring up. But corn, beans, and squash, and most researchers feel that the vast majority of their diet was made up of corn, beans, and squash. And fortunately, if you eat corn and beans together, you get a complete high-fiber vegetable protein into your diet. This is really important. Complete proteins contain all the essential amino acids in the correct proportions, which is important for human growth and development. So this is a really important part of this ancient diet. However, they continue to hunt, they continue to gather, and during the 1200s, when people are making their homes in the alcoves, they're hunting small mammals. You might see some of these mammals today: rabbits, squirrels, chipmunks, wood rats. They were definitely on the menu. And then the other really important source of meat protein that archaeologists find out here, do you know what it is?
Deer.
Smaller. Something that many of us enjoy around November. Turkeys. Turkeys. So there were two domesticated animals of the ancestral Pueblo people. Turkeys were one of them. And what was the second one? You guys know it because most of you probably have it. Dogs. Yeah, dogs and turkeys. But turkeys on the menu during the 1200s in abundance. So this is an important source of meat protein. Now, the other thing that's cool out here, this is a pinyon juniper forest, and believe it or not, this is a forest. It is considered a pygmy forest because of its small nature, but there's a ton of food out here. So one of the most important sources of food that you can find, pinyon pine nuts. They're full of calories, full of protein. But we have acorns out here, choke cherries and service berries. We have amaranth that grows, the potatoes that we mentioned. We have sunflower seeds, cactus fruit, yucca fruit, Indian rice grass seeds. So there's all kinds of food that they were adding into that diet. And this way they're going to add a little more protein, calcium, salt, fat, things that they would have needed into this diet. So make no mistake, they are absolutely farmers, but they are adding to that diet with some hunting and some gathering. Where's their water coming from?
That was my question.
Spring.
Springs, yes. You're going to drive around this park, you are not really going to readily see the water sources. They are here, but you need to come off the top of the mesa, come down to this level. Very often in the back of the alcove or right at the head of a canyon, we have these seep springs, places where the water just slowly seeps right out of the sandstone. And these are one of the most important sources of their domestic water. So water for drinking, water for cooking. Notice how much mortar they use to build Cliff Palace. And of course you need water to make your mortar. So water was really critical out here. One of the things that is really fascinating about the Pueblo farmers is they did not irrigate their farming fields up on the mesa tops. It is believed they practiced dry land farming. So what that means is they relied on spring snowmelt and summer rains to provide the moisture for those farming fields up on top. Incredibly risky way to make a living, as you can imagine. Predicting the weather in this part of the country is so hard. And of course that would have been nearly impossible for the Pueblo people. But they made it work. And we think that that's because they devised other strategies. For example, understanding precisely when to plant their seeds, understanding how deep to plant those seeds. Really quite deep. You know, we're talking 13, 14, 15 inches because that is where the moisture is found in the soil. And then, of course, spacing their plants apart so that these young plants aren't competing for the limited moisture. So all of these strategies seem to work for a long time. And in fact, what we find today is that some of the Pueblo descendants still dryland farm. Have you guys heard of Hopi? I think some of you have heard of Hopi, and they live in northeastern Arizona in an area that's actually drier than it is here at Mesa Verde. That you see right above you, those are juniper beans from the Utah They used the big timbers to construct the roofs of their rooms, the roofs of their kivas. And archaeologists use the wood to date the sites. It's called dendrochronology, or tree ring dating. It's incredibly accurate here in the Southwest. It's one of the most important ways that they can learn about the Pueblo people. So for example, we know that the Pueblo people started building at Mesa Verde around 550 AD, and primarily they were building on the mesa tops. And then around the beginning of the 1200s, there seems to be a real shift, and we no longer see tree ring data much up on the mesa top. Building stops out here entirely, and that's why they believe that ultimately that means that people then moved further to the south, down where we find their descendants today. Because when they examine the tree ring data down there, what they find is a tremendous amount of construction at the beginning of the 1300s. So it sort of suggests that you have a bunch of people moving into that area and starting to build homes. So this tree ring data becomes such a critical way to learn that. Now, if you guys were an guys, will you do me a favor? Go ahead and swing around and go as far as kind of that blackened doorway, okay? Day 4. That's the most we'll do today. Well, let's get it. It makes for a very fast day. I bet. Just kind of going around in circles.
They sit all later, like 5 of them.
Sorry for my breathing. Sorry for my breathing, guys. And after here, we are going to another hotel, but instead of a pool, it has hot spring. So I'll see you guys then. Whew. That was a long, hard trip. So So you see you guys then. Alright guys, we're at the Springs Hotel. And it's a hot springs. And man, this place is gigantic. This is only like 1/4 of it. They have a fire there going all day, I'm guessing. And they have a hot springs right here. But caution, very hot water. Do not enter. You can see the bubbling and all the bubbling over there. That's not sand, those are bubbles. And you can feel the heat from it. It's crazy. I would like to see a fish live in here. Man, it's crazy. But this is this is one of the hotels that the Springs own. They have like 3 of them. Just look at this place. It is crazy. It is so crazy. Jesus. The stairways. This place is just awesome. I'm trying to get a good view of this chandelier. They have little crystals on the sides and stuff too. Man, this place is so cool. I've never been to a hotel like this before. We're in room 428. I'm waiting on my parents to get back in because they're packing up the cart for right now so we can put our stuff in the room. Then I'll show you guys the room. So see you guys then whenever I get the key to the room. And we got the room key. I am entering the room. They have wine and everything here. It's cold in here. They have chips and stuff for you to buy. All sorts of stuff you have to buy, like the wine and everything. It's not free. They even have a full stocked mini fridge. And like you get these little bracelets, which is for 24 hours. So you can go in their hot springs, like all of their hot springs, because they have a lot of them. And you get these complimentary water bottles too. Yeah. These are so soft. So soft. There's our view. Not the best view ever, but it's a good view. It's like an old style hotel almost, but it's like not at the same time. The furniture is all like old style. They even have that in there. So that is the springs for you guys. I think I might end this video off here for right now, just because. So I think I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace.